Hey there, it's Boots Owen here. This is my van. It's a Volkswagen Transporter. It's 19 years old and I've had it for about 11 or 12 or maybe more of those years. And you can see here, I've started scraping it away. The sill on the driver's side is pretty rusty and there's a little tiny hole there which I'm going to cover up with something. And it's got a bit of stuff over there. So what I'm doing is, this is just, it's not going to be a work video or anything like that or a how-to video. It's going to be a how not to really. If we can see in here, here's the colour changing. This underbody seal that came with it, it's kind of like a plasticky rubbery stuff. You can just peel it off with your hand. So what I've been doing is if it comes off, I'm taking it off just in this area. Yeah, so that's about as far back as I'll bring it. The metal's alright generally, but it's an old van, you know, I'm not expecting it to last much longer. It failed on the last MOT for a little tiny bit of rust, bigger than that hole there. Like that hole there is the size of what my screwdriver blade made when it was scraping over it, so there isn't much metal there really anymore. But I'm not really worried about that because it's an old van. I'm not too worried about it. Let's go around and have a look at the other side of what I've done. While it's up on the blocks, I'm just doing the oil as well, so that's the oil draining off. I ran the engine for a few minutes. I've got other videos on YouTube about how to change the oil. Over this side, this is what I've done. I've put this, it's actually getting, surface is dry there to the touch. I've put this stuff on it. It's like, it obviously looks like shit. There's no mess in there. It's roof sealant, roofing compound, bituminous paint, and it was almost gone hard in the tin, so I thinned it out with a bit of white spirits, and I've just, you know, tried to not go where I didn't need to. There's a little bit more there, so I put a bit more on there. That petrol or the diesel door even has always been rusty. Like these bits here, I'm not too worried about them. The bit that failed on the MOT is down here at the back of the sliding door. And it could fail again. Yeah, look, that's what the garage did was it failed actually on the bit on the inside, so they put a little bit of something here, a bit of plating or something, but I don't know if they said they welded it, but like they did the nastiest job I've ever seen. I think they sprayed on some kind of fiberglass snots, because you can see it, and then they spray, you see the fiberglass there. I don't know, like they're doing the test so they can satisfy themselves that what they've done is good enough. The hole was the size of my fingernail, so it wasn't exactly a worry, but they said it was in a prescribed area because it was here on the door sill, and I guess maybe sills are a prescribed area. I'd be worried if it was over here, if this, you know, suspension mount was getting, you know, it's rusty, but it's made out of probably 3 or 4 mil steel, so, you know, it's not a big deal. Not by my standards, leastways. But yeah, they put on this stuff, fiberglassy kind of stuff, and then painted it with some kind of more plasticky bitumen, and that's just rusting through again, you know. So they've carried it for a year, and that was about 50 quid for them to do. So what I'm trying to do is a bit preventative over the other side. You see that block there is it's lost all of its underbody seal. I'll go around the other side and show you what the other side's like. It's actually got a bit more sealant on it, but it's pretty rusty. So around here, that's the arch under the back driver's side, and it's, you know, it's got rust in there, but it's not penetrating at this point. There's a gouge where I grounded off something. That's where I put the jack in the wrong place, I'd say. But yeah, so there's those flakes of sealant, but you know, the metal behind them's not bad. This block here, I should probably just cut out all that stuff because it's just holding dust. Whoa, it's got in my eyes. But like, that's, you know, it's a 20-year-old van. What do you expect? I wouldn't want to be trying to get that nut off. That's a job for the garage if ever I've seen one. Yeah, it's all okay. You know, more rust up in there. Little bird's nest of washed in dust. Yeah, it's all okay. Like, I think you'd have to take a bit of a flame on that if you wanted to get that off. I can't see that coming off manually. But then, you know, that's the point we're at, and the way I see it with this van is that I reckon they're going to bring in smokeless rules sometime soon. And when they bring in the smokeless rules, not smokeless, but Euro exhaust emissions, this van is pre-Euro 3, being a 2001 early model. so it doesn't actually need a catalytic converter, even though it has a little basic catalytic converter. Where is it? Somewhere in there. There it is. And you know, they're pretty cheap on the internet because they're not they're nothing special. I've replaced good bits of that exhaust. Is that blowing again there? It looks to be blowing a bit out of silicone. It's got a bit of dust on it, but it's not. It's still a good seal on it. I've replaced that back box. I've replaced the back box way over there. I don't know that I've replaced this mid box, so I've done the gasket there and the one behind it. That one just there. But it's just a matter of trying to keep it going, really, more than anything. Like, if it was condemned, like, I don't know how much would I spend on it? Maybe 400 or 500 if it needed it. I think, like, I know it's not the thing to do, but I think I could hide that probably before. You see how thin the metal's gone there? Actually, it's not. I don't know if it is. Yeah, no, you can see it. You maybe can't, but I can see it and feel it flexing under my finger, even in the good area. So either it's rotten out from the inside, which I don't think so, but it does bend a little bit. This is what I'm using, and this is by no means the automotive grade, but it's Wix bitumen waterproofer for roofs. I've had it 6 years. It's just some old bitumen with some oils mixed into it. It held my roof up for a few years, so it'll hold my van up for a season anyways. The MOT is not for a few months, so let's see if we can get it through. But what I've been doing is just talk through what I'm doing. Scraping off a bit of it with this little screwdriver. Then I go on to licking it with the so I go on like that with the screwdriver. Anything that comes off, I go a bit more vigorously than this, but I'm just doing this for the benefit of the camera. Let's just get off anything loose, because if it's loose, it's not doing anything, just apart from cosmetic. Then go at it with this grinder. I won't show you that, but it brings it back to like kind of a grey metal colour. It's not a sanding disc, it's not a flap disc. I don't want to cut into it, I want to leave everything there that's there. And then just slap that paint on. Oh no, actually I was rubbing it with a bit of this stuff. That's just thinners. Give it a bit of a clean off. Clean rag. Well, it will be clean when I use the next one. Give it a wipe down to get any just road dust off it, because I haven't washed it. I have thought about getting a wax oil seal underneath the van, but I don't really think I'm going to have it long enough. If I'd thought about it at the start, I would have got it wax oiled, but at the start it wasn't bad, and like I say, it's lasted me 10 years. And basically for the first, what would that be, 18 years of the van's service, it hasn't had a rust problem. That's not a big deal at all in my book. Like, this van, it's not, once it starts failing on rust, like that little bit there could be overplated. I'll just hide it because I'm not worried about it, but if it bursts out in rust again, that whole sill could need overplating, and if it does, it does, and maybe that'll be 100 quid. If it's that kind of money, I'll probably get it done. But if the smokeless or the emissions regs come in, well then that's just it. It's just going to go to be sold. I'll probably just put it up to the highest bidder, let it go. They're quite a popular van, you know. They've got a bit of a cult following. But like this one, it's covered in bird poo because it sits under a tree. I do about 100 pounds of diesel every 3 months, so you can draw your own conclusions about that. What that is, that would be about 600 miles, so it's about 200 miles a month on average. Typically I'll do a few trips and just leave it parked up the rest of the time, and you know, maybe once a month or twice a month I'll do a bit of shopping with it, that kind of thing. Drive it on the day when it's raining as a tin umbrella. Yeah, I don't know, I am proud of the van, but I'm not proud of the job I'm doing to it. But as it stands, like, you've got to do something with it, because I'm kind of getting fed up with it. Fed up looking at it, thinking, you can't leave it like that. But look at the bumper, like, it's almost gone white. It's got some kind of mouldy stuff growing on it. These things here, the air intakes, they always seem to have moss in them on these vans. There's a leak above the windscreen on the inside, over the far side there. You know, when I've siliconed that up, but it still drips in. Like, drips, it doesn't even drip, it just soaks in a little tiny bit and leaves a stain. So, you know, it's getting near the end of its days, but it's done a mighty good service. So it's getting an oil and filter today. The engine I don't think will ever die. The engine's pretty good. But it's getting the oil and filter today, and it's getting a bit of treatment with this roofing compound. which is silly, but I don't know, kind of worth doing, I reckon. Okay, there's a video for you. It's a little update on my Volkswagen Transporter. Check out my Transporter playlist if you're into that kind of thing, because I've done the timing belt twice on this van in the time that I've had it. I've actually done it 3 times. I've done it twice myself and once by a Volkswagen garage when I got it first and didn't have the confidence to do these kinds of things. I've done a couple of filter videos, belt change videos, interesting wiring videos for problems that I found and how to fault find along the way. And this is what it looks like after, I don't know, 4 hours of drying out. It's this is only one coat, but it goes on really thick, so you can see, like, it's probably at least a millimeter there. You can put it on thinner, but like in under there it's gone on really thick. It's got fibers suspended in bitumen, so like I put a little bit of filler where there was a little hole somewhere there, but like you can't see it because you can just see bubbles and irregularities in the compound, in the bitumen compound itself, rather than anything else. I think that's an okay job. Like, it's okay until it bubbles out again, and then it becomes double nasty because you have to try and grind that off, and it probably doesn't want to come off. But like, I really don't care much, because like I said, I can see this van lasting me another year and a half, 2 years. So I've got an MOT in a few months, and once it passes that MOT, that's me for, well, that'll take me up to another 14, 15, 16 months away, something like that. So yeah, there you go. Looking good. I think I'm doing alright now. Okay. Thanks for watching. See you later.